So Eric Adams has dropped out of the New York City mayoral race, and although I am not from New York City, I really don't like radical Islam taking over the bastions of freedom, like America, like New York, and this Mamdani dude is really problematic. So we're going to discuss everything about him, why he's problematic, why he refuses to condemn Hamas, but really now what needs to happen for there to be a future of New York City. Okay, and it's plain and simple. If we want a future for New York City, we have to figure out how to fight Mamdani now, yesterday, a month ago. And we are very far behind. But first, make sure to like, comment, subscribe on this video, on this channel if you enjoyed. As we know, 85% of you are not subscribed, which means that it is slowing our growth, and we have to get the truth out there as fast as we possibly can. So please do that. And also an exciting new update. MeiraK.news is our new newsletter. We did a whole review of the Iran war. You might not be familiar with the fact that behind the scenes, whilst I'm not on YouTube, I do a daily updates on Israel and news and everything that's going on. We have a whole channel. It's very interesting and exciting. It kind of keeps you informed as to the realities of what's going on the ground. But now we're converting it into a newsletter so you can stay updated directly into your inbox. So please, MeiraK.news, sign up. Let us know what you think about the newsletter when we finally launch it later this week. And let's jump in to the most important topic of the day, Mamdani. Okay? So, at the moment, we've got Mamdani. He's slated at 88% of a chance of winning. Okay? And the reason for this is multiple things. Number one, he ran a viciously sophisticated campaign. Obviously, he's also probably a Qatar/Iran/radical Islam person who's been planted, so he's got a lot of help behind him. We now know for a fact that his mother has been funded by Qatar for years, which means the brainwashing is extreme, but also he's young, he's tech savvy, he understands the power of social media, and he understands the power of talking points which make no sense, like socialism and, let's defund the police and all these kind of things. The people who don't have brain cells but who are still capable of voting listen to and get very inspired by. And that's exactly what he does. He inspires the youth and the masses. And when you look at the people he was competing against, they are older. I mean, Silva is 71 years old. You've got Andrew Cuomo. They're Republicans. They feel like, the old energy of New York, and Eric Adams dropping out is a big deal. So for the last few months, everybody's been saying we need one candidate up against Mamdani. That makes sense. Like if Mamdani is going to be the Democratic person and we've got Cuomo and Eric Adams and Silva, people who are more on the right are splitting their votes between the three. And when you split the votes, that's always going to be a bad strategy if you're up against one strong contender. But for months, these people have refused to step down. And finally now, Eric Adams has said, look, I love my city, and he's massively pro-Israel, and he's been a great friend to Israel, and is very sad. But seeing as no one else is going to do it, I'm going to step down, and hopefully that means we will have one candidate up against Mamdani, and we're all hoping that will be Cuomo. He's pro-Israel. Look, is he a great mayor? I would not go as far as to say that. I'm not going to pretend to know a huge amount of information about New York mayor stuff. Not exactly my grounds. I do know that radical Islam in New York is bad. That I can tell you. But I don't know much about the other candidates, so I'm not going to go into it. But we have the Silva guy, the 71-year-old Republican, who's polling way below Cuomo, and he's refusing to step down. And I think there needs to be a lot of pressure on that. And I think we have a lot to learn from this campaign, because there is this this really shocking and sad thing that people tend to do. And I hear it all the time when they're talking about Gen Z. People will often come to me and say, how do you speak to the younger people? They don't want to hear, they don't want to listen. And I'm here to say they do. Okay, we, the younger generation, are interested in what's going on in the world. We are highly activated. We are highly empowered to make a difference and to do good. But you guys, the people with the information and with the knowledge and with the history, you don't talk to us. You talk to yourselves. You think the way that you do things is the way that we do things, and it's different, which is why it is so important to be investing so much in younger people on social media. It is not for nothing that when you look at the biggest political commentators and you look at their teams, they're not 40 or 50 or 60-year-old people who have been in the industry for a long time. They're 19, 17, 20-year-olds. They're young people with energy who have been online, who are familiar with what's going on, who know how to talk to the youth. Okay? And Mamdani got that. He understood it and he dominated. Whereas in people who are a little bit older, Eric Adams, it took him days to get a website running. I mean, what? Why? Why is that? Why is that people don't and struggle to understand that nowadays, if you want to win, you have to speak the language that everybody's speaking. And this is a big problem with the Israel-Palestine thing. I mean, you might have seen Netanyahu's recent speech or thing at this influencer event. It's going very viral. And I don't even actually know what to say about it because I have so many thoughts on what needs to be done there and within Israel and within the kind of political system and how we're dealing with the PR strategy. I mean, conversation for another time, as you already know, I like to say. But people have to get with the program and understand that if this is the new battlefield, you have to learn to fight, and you can't be stuck in all day dealing with things. The young voices, the voices online are the most significant, important voices online, which is why I actually like this organization called Canary Mission. Okay, now I am not affiliated with them. They don't pay me. None of that lies, but I think they're very interesting. They bring together a lot of information about people who are anti-Israel, and they've done some really, really good content, and they do a much better job than I will ever be able to do when discussing why Mamdani is so bad. I will also say that we have another video for today, which is extremely interesting. We'll actually start with that. You know what? Before we review Mamdani and his actual dangers to New York and why it is so important that all of us focus a huge amount of efforts on trying to figure out how we get this guy out. I mean, Trump is doing his as hard as he can on TikTok or on X. He's hilarious. I just love that man. But let's watch for a second Mamdani literally refusing to condemn a terrorist organization. And okay, we'll talk about the significance of it in a second.
Many New Yorkers agree with you when they hear you condemning the war in Gaza and you talk about this and on a day when everybody is weighing in this mayor's race on the Prime Minister Netanyahu's remarks this morning. Some New Yorkers say that they don't hear you as often condemn Hamas or talk about bringing the hostages home. So today, do you agree with Mr. Netanyahu's statement that Hamas is a terror organization that needs to be destroyed? And if you could speak the way he did on loudspeakers today to the 20 living hostages, what would your message be?
You know, I am not going to echo the words of Benjamin Netanyahu. I can, however, share my own words and say them right here, which is that my politics is built on a universality, and I can think of no better illustration of that than from the words of the hostage families themselves. Everyone for everyone. It is something that they have said for months. It is something that they have called for in not only understanding that those hostages must be released, but that this is intertwined with the end of this genocide. And there are so many of us who have called for ceasefires precisely because the greatest moment of relief, whether it be in the release of hostages or the ending of the Israeli military's killing of Palestinians, is in those very moments of the cessation of hostilities, of that ceasefire. And so when we call for this, it is a call for hostages and Palestinians alike and understanding their dignity. And what has been so infuriating to me and to so many New Yorkers, frankly.
I actually can't watch it. It infuriates me. It makes me mad. But notice a few things. He did not condemn Hamas. He refused to. He was very, very sophisticated and intelligent in the way that he totally diverted the topic. He made it seem as if all the hostages' families have been calling for the end of the genocide, which is incorrect. It's actually a few niche families that have gone way too much PR that they shouldn't have received, and who managed to turn the entire hostage thing instead of into a humanitarian issue into a political issue, which again is a conversation for another time. But watch how careful he is with his words. I will not speak about Benjamin Netanyahu, and he knows exactly how to tap into an audience that is listening for what he has to say. Okay, what's so complicated to say, look, I don't like a terrorist organization? Most of the people out there would think, yeah, like you should be able to say that. But he's so well trained as a politician. He knows exactly how to twist the words, how to completely distract you, and to make it about the killing of the Palestinians. When that wasn't what was asked. It was asked, do you condemn Hamas? No, none of that. Manipulation, super high levels of sophisticated manipulation. And you know, in another world, I think that maybe I'll just become like a manipulation analyst. I just want to get on here and analyze how people manipulate people into thinking things. I find it so interesting. But that's what's going on there. He refuses to condemn, very, very simply, and he refuses to acknowledge Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel. He should have some shame. But next, let's jump into why Mamdani is actually a danger. Outside of the fact that he won't condemn Hamas, which tells you enough about his ideological beliefs, let's review a little bit of this Canary Mission website, and we're going to do something a little bit different today. We are going to go on to a website, actually, and I'm a little bit nervous to do this, but oh, hey, it worked. That's exciting. I'm not very technical. And this is their kind of collection of everything that you need to know about Mamdani. So let's watch their video.
Pro-Hamas activists are fueling unprecedented levels of anti-Semitic attacks in New York City. Terrorist flags flood the streets while protesters openly call for America's destruction.
We have shut down New York City, and we will continue to shut this city down. We will turn your way to
Now, an extremist from within their ranks is running for mayor, Zhoran Mamdani. Here are 3 critical reasons why Zhoran Mamdani is not just unfit for office, but poses a serious threat to the very people he claims to serve. Number 1, Mamdani is affiliated with numerous terror-connected organizations that aim to transform New York City into a battleground.
But more important than that, I am someone who co-founded my college's first Students of Justice in Palestine.
As an undergrad at Bowdoin College in Maine, Mamdani co-founded a Students for Justice in Palestine chapter. This group openly supports Hamas, and its activists seek to overthrow the US government.
We must organize at every level.
Mamdani participated in Within Our Lifetime rallies in New York City, which led to vandalism, traffic disruptions, and chaos. Within Our Lifetime also supports terror organizations and endorses violence towards the police.
We will invest in disturbing your peace.
Mamdani also proudly belongs to the Democratic Socialists of America, which demands dismantling the prison and policing systems, condemns US imperialism, and calls for Israel's destruction.
Will you give up? Will you stop coming?
Following the October 7th massacre, the DSA promoted a rally endorsing Hamas's right to resist. Number 2, Mamdani comes from a family deeply rooted in anti-American activism and anti-Semitism. His father, Columbia professor Mahmoud Mamdani, equates both America and Israel with Nazis and demands that Israel should be dismantled.
The Jewish people, they arrived at what I would call a neo-Nazi solution.
Number 3, Mamdani is a dangerous extremist himself.
Are we ready to fight back?
The day after the October 7th massacre in Israel, Mamdani publicly called for Israel's dismantling. In the weeks that followed, he joined anti-Israel protests and blocked traffic outside Senator Chuck Schumer's home, resulting in his arrest for disorderly conduct.
We have to take every action in front of us.
Mamdani built his short political career on trafficking lies about the Jewish state, the same lies that have recently led to terrorist attacks in America.
We are watching a genocide unfold in front of our eyes.
Mamdani spreads the deadly exchange conspiracy theory, falsely blaming Israel for police brutality against African Americans.
When I think of partnerships, I think of how the NYPD and the IDF have had a relationship for many years.
Everyone, stop the deadly exchange!
A vote for Zhoran Mamdani represents a free pass to the disruptive and violent protests that have racked New York for years and led to increased attacks on Jews in the city.
BBS! BBS!
Mamdani's policies of decarceration and defunding the police, combined with his backing of violent groups fueling chaos in New York City, will only empower the extremist organizations aiming to hold the city hostage.
The struggle for Palestinian liberation was at the core of my politics and continues to be.
Mamdani is a clear danger to the people of New York. A vote for Mamdani is a vote for bigotry, violence, and chaos.
This makes me so mad. So if you go onto this website, canarymission.org, again, not sponsored, nothing along the lines, I just actually really think this is important. You can check out all of the work that he has done that is terrible for New York City. And as you see, it doesn't end. And guys, yes, you should be afraid. If you're watching this and you live in New York, you should be afraid. I'm afraid. I'm petrified. I literally don't know what to say. I don't live in New York, but I understand the significance of this. And I actually want to talk a little bit about New York because there's a lot of Jews there. And there's this claim that about 70% of them did vote for Mamdani. And unfortunately, I think that claim might be true. I don't know if you saw, there was also this video of him on Rosh Hashanah. Okay, he decided on Rosh Hashanah to speak to his Jewish voters. And he went to, obviously, a synagogue. And what kind of synagogue did he go to? One of these, Israel's a genocidal synagogues. Cannot handle Jewish people who, I cannot. But this is a really important thing to talk about. The liberal Jews, and this was something that we discussed yesterday in our video with Dennis Prager and Megan Kelly, we spoke about this concept of like, if you're left versus you're right, the fact that you're Jewish doesn't mean you have anything in common. Obviously, besides the fact that you're Jewish, but you don't actually have anything in common. And the fact that there are left-wing Jews out there, so many of them, who still think that the other things that Mamdani stands for, like socialism and defunding the police and their hatred of Trump and all of that, are more important than understanding that this guy is literally an implant of radical Islam. SJP, Students for Justice of Palestine, which is one of the most revolting groups of all time, so many of them were activated hours before October 7th so they could relaunch. They knew they're a student terrorist organization in many ways, and we've seen that. All the campuses, all the things that are going wrong, all of the craziness stems from these places, and he's highly involved in them. And besides the fact, again, that I'm fearful, I think this needs to be an enormous red flag for us. If you are a Jew who is proud of Israel, it starts with that. It starts with standing up and fighting back. I don't know what we will do if he becomes the mayor of New York City. I literally don't know. Will Jews, religious right-wing Jews, be arrested? What does that mean? Do people have to flee? And again, that brings us back to this kind of complicated question of where do Jews live? Do they live in America? Should they come back home to Israel? When's the red line? Where is the red line that we say, okay, this is cutting too close to what it felt like in Germany in 1930s. It's just too close. I don't know. I don't have the answer. Ask your local rabbi, speak about it, think about it, figure it out for yourself. But what I will say is that the fact that we still have Jews out there who do not understand that they are betraying their own, literally betraying their own, to the point that they will host Mamdani at a synagogue, and to the point that they would vote for him over understanding the depths of the danger of this man, shows us how far we have to go as a society and how much work we have to do. I was speaking to my husband this morning. We're making some food and talking about the channel and about how nice people are in the comments that we're receiving. And I said to him, for a long time, I was kind of against Hasbara. I don't feel comfortable like doing the whole, fighting for the Jews. Like, we have a right to exist. Everybody could just, whatever. It's not my business if they don't like us. Like, we just have to do what we need to do and focus in on strengthening ourselves. And then I realized that it's much, much more complex than that. I don't believe in having to explain to people why I'm right. I am right about a lot of this stuff. I think about it, I evaluate it, I educate myself. I've spent a huge amount of hours doing the work. And if you're here, you probably agree with that. You've probably seen at this point some kind of concrete proof that I know what I'm talking about. But what I don't feel comfortable with is so many people hiding in the shallows, being silent, being afraid because they don't see enough voices out there being proud of who they are. And that's exactly what I am. Unbelievably proud to be a Jew, to be an Israeli, to be right-wing, to be anti-radical Islam, to be anti-crazy woke mentalities, to be anti the falling apart of society, student protests, to be anti people who believe that family is bad and feminism is good and children are evil. All of this, I am anti it. And I am proud in that. And I hope you're proud in that too. And that's kind of where I want to end, because this is a dark message. Mamdani winning New York City is very, very bad. But it is maybe also that really significant red flag that we all need. This became possible because, number one, he understands the power of social media, and we haven't really. That's significant. How do we figure this out? This is important questions for us to ask. Number two, he knows how to speak to the people who are angry and who are looking for a cause. Do we do that? Number three, he's unafraid of his opinions, but we are afraid of ours, and we don't make enough noise to fight back. The Jews of New York are some of the most powerful and influential people in the whole world, and their own mayor is somebody who's turning against them because they don't have enough of a clear perspective of what's going on, and because we don't have enough of our own conviction to stand up loud and proud. And that's why I'm here. At the core of it all, that's why I'm here, so that you watching this can feel louder and prouder. I know that there are many people out there who have the same opinion of you, who feel the same things. We're getting millions at this point. We started this channel 2 months ago, like 7 weeks ago, and we were reaching millions of views, not from people who hate us. Look at the comment section. The majority of the people here are people who are so thankful and grateful because there are millions of us. But our voices need to rise. Our voices need to become louder. And I'm asking you, I'm begging of you to join me in this. Fight against Mamdani. Make it clear that we're not okay about it, but it's not about Mamdani. This is the red flag that all of us need. It's about being loud, proud, Jews, Christians, Zionists, all the people out there who can spot what is going on, who understand that the left and Islam is all connected and they're coming for us. And if we don't stand up for ourselves, no one is going to. Definitely not the Western leaders, definitely not the mayors of New York City. My friends, it's time. It is time for a change. Thank you for your attention to this matter.